It's time to see if Yoshida has a contract with the Rizzler. Thank you to our final patrons, Strawbones, Roto4765, Midnight Gem Lord, Artgoon, and Sean. And a very big thank you to our $25 patron, Alex Ice Rose. Now, we're having this breakdown / discussion and live reaction to chapter 121 of, I was about to say Black Clover. Chainsaw Man. Please remember to leave your own in the chapter in the comment section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit that little notification so you miss out on any videos that come with the channel. Also, I do a Patreon down below. Use result as one dominant thanks, loose videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Now, let's hop into the live reaction. What's up, guys? Once again, here we are to do a live reaction to chapter 121 of Chainsaw Man, which is known as Theory of Happiness. And let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. And Amy, ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, as per the laws of nature, I got it on me, and I keep it on me at all times. So do not be shocked, do not be afraid. Chainsaw Man has been pretty peaked for these last couple chapters, so I'm assuming another chapter of peak. Theory of Happiness. I'm very interested to see what this chapter is going to be about, especially considering we're with, like, I wouldn't consider Yoshida happy, and I wouldn't consider Asa or Yoru happy either. So who knows? We'll see. All right, let's hop right into it. Theory of Happiness. All right. DHC, Student Council Office. Is that really the same place? You can separate those where they're not enough built rooms in the building. Here's your coffee. Dog. Why are you posted up on the wall like oh, not on the wall. Why are you posted up on the bookshelf like this? Like, dog, really? You couldn't, like, sit down? Like, you just had to offer a coffee and say, go ahead. Drink it. What's wrong? Are you intimidated? Nah, because, like, legitimately, especially, I don't really, because think about it, you don't even really know this guy. Like, this guy just ran, like, you interacted with him before. But he was the same guy who brought you to Denji. Well, admittedly, we know Asa had some feelings for it, but I'm not exactly sure how deep the memory wipe is, or what Nayuta fully did with Asa's memories. So, I don't know. I definitely do not have full understanding, but it's not like Yoshida got the best of track records. I'd be a little, at least me, I'd be fully afraid of someone I barely met inviting me for coffee in this random place and then proceed to post up, like, against any surface. Bookshelf or not, I think I'd be a little bit concerned. I may just have to step out. That's just me, though. That's just me, though. How are they in the school after hours, though? Let's see. Are you sure we can drink this? Isn't it the DHCs? Aren't you in the DHC? I'm pretty sure you are. So this is fine. I mean, legally, this is technically your spot, too. Though I understand, like, that's a little bit cheap. I mean, I get on the hustle. But you're gonna take her inside the school and use the school's coffee instead of going out and getting actual coffee? Like, really? Really, Yoshida? Didn't you have fat stacks? You had enough stacks to sit on Denji. Then again, Denji probably didn't ask for that much money. But let's see. I don't see why not. You're technically a member. Yep. Yoshida brought up the car fat. But bro, why are you still posted up like this? Like, he said that, like, I don't see why not. You're technically a member. Bro, put the arms down. Relax. Chill. It's not that deep, Yoshida. It's not that deep. Hirofumi Yoshida, the guy who rejected me when you randomly asked him out. Oh, when you randomly asked him out. I can't read. I'm sorry. Did I ever tell you I was illiterate? I'm that guy with a pencil. I'm not that guy with a reading comprehension. Let's see. He's with Denji a lot. They say he's a public safety DHC, or DH, despite being in high school. I really wonder how old Brody is, because he knew a lot. Like, I know, I think I already talked about this last chapter, but the whole idea of him being the big D, the big D-E-A-T-H, D-E, Because go back to the original series and read about Yoshida, or, like, reread Yoshida's parts. It's kind of strange what he does. He doesn't do anything, like, too out of the ordinary, not anything too bonkers, but it's just bonkers enough that you kind of, like, start stroking the beard a little bit, being like, what are you really cooking? What are you really got in the oven right now? Let me know, Yoshida, let me know. But let's see. He must be busy. why spend his time on a loner like me? He can probably, I mean, I know reasonably he shouldn't be able to, right? He shouldn't be. I mean, I guess hypothetically, even if you can't notice the scars in the eye shifting, let's say those are just visual cues for the audience and people in the general world cannot notice it. Hypothetically, for all intents and purposes, anyone even slightly observant who's seen both sides, Asa and Yoru, should know that there's a massive difference between the two. Or like some strange sort of situation going on there, where Asa seems incredibly incompetent, extremely weak, out of the norm, out of her sorts. But then Yoru, as she did in front of a whole bunch of people, instantly one-shot the ED. Like, with witnesses and everything. Like, obviously there's some sort of difference there. The whole mentality shifts, the whole mentality changes. And heck, Yoshida, as she mentioned, was asked out by Yoru, which is something that Yoshida would notice that Asa would never do. So there are definitely some interactions where I feel like a character as careful and as observant as Yoshida, even in the original series, even if you don't think he's anyone super special, he's just shown to be a pretty observant guy. And once again, kind of like Nayuta, very worrisome or very worried about threats to Denji. So hypothetically, a person this powerful just roaming around with two separate personalities, if you can pick up on it, yeah, you may want to learn a little bit more. So even if Asa's a little bit confused on why he's coming out the clutch like this, from an outsider's perspective looking in, trying to think like Yoshida, I could see why if I was in his position, I'd be a little itty bitty bit concerned about Yoru and her entire, or not Yoru, Asa and her entire setup. Let's see. Could it be he started to notice me? He started noticing me after I asked. You know, I can't even knock her hustle. Like, unironically, I can't even really knock her hustle. Because, like, when you're lonely, you start reading into everything. Trust me, I know. like when you really get isolated, when you're left with nothing but you and your other self, you really start to think a little bit. You really start to think, like, any human interaction. Like, we gotta, especially in Asa's case, like, she was literally scratching she ended the last chapter on a whole soliloquy about how she was so lonely and desperate for human connection. Obviously, especially considering she knows nothing about Yoshida. She literally has no idea who Brody is. She has some information about his background, but that's it. She has no idea who Yoshida is as a person. So who knows, when you're socially inept and alone, you probably would think of the most valuable scenario to yourself first, because that's how you usually think. What are you mumbling back? Oh, what were you mumbling back by the school gates? What I say? Brody's being careful. He's observant. He's not learning. He's watching. He's thinking. You're a thinker. Let's see. I always wonder, like, what... Like, usually I can tell why characters shift eyes. Like, it happens a lot in Blue Lock. Like, typically the black Skeller to the white Skeller is a variation or interpretation of whether or not flow is active. But I can never tell why Fujimoto would do something like this. Because this isn't Yoru. This is still Asa. But I'm not sure why he colors her eyes blank here, but then... Or not blank. Obviously they aren't just blank. But, like, colors her eyes with pupils and then a paler iris, but then immediately switches back to pure black eyes. No idea. Maybe I need to reread again and see if there's like a specific pattern that I'm missing, because it's not associated with anything as far as I can tell. Usually eye changes are associated with something within the character, but I don't remember this. Let's see. That life is easier on your own. she's already black. I mean, I can't knock her hustle. Obviously, if she thinks Denji stood her up, you gotta move on. You can't stick with it. You gotta keep it pushing one way or another. Know what I'm saying? So, get in where you can fit in, Asa. Don't knock the hustle till you gotta do it. Let's see. I question why you think that out loud. I more or less agree, though. Interesting. I mean, yeah, Yoshida, he worked for the DHC, but he didn't necessarily, like, have friends. We saw him interact with Quanshi, we saw him interact with Kishibe, we saw him interact with Denji, obviously. We saw him interact with a bunch of characters, but that was mainly under the context of work. We never actually seen Yoshida in his limited appearances anyway. Once again, Chainsaw Man, where did that come from? Chainsaw Man is only 121 chapters long, so his limited appearances within the series, he hasn't necessarily been shown to be like the most outgoing or friendly of dudes. So it makes sense why he would agree with the statement that life is easier on your own. You have less to worry about, less to care about, less to lose. So hypothetically, I can see it. I think just because humans are social creatures, you should always endeavor to have connections with at least one person. Like, solitary confinement is nutty. Don't isolate yourself too much. Have at least one person you can talk to. But I think a life with more people is better. Gives you more opportunity, more access, more connections, more stuff like that. No, you don't need super deep connections either. You just need connections in general. You need people that you can go to and hang out with or talk with or something with. Share your passions one way or another. And they don't even have to be people you directly know. I share my passion with you guys through this. This is human connection for me. Every time you comment, that's human connection. So even that is good enough. But don't isolate yourself entirely. You're literally biologically built not to do that. And you deserve better. Let's see. More or less agree, though. It's probably easier to get by living with another person. One thing leading to another, but there's no guarantee you'll permanently build a mutually agreeable relationship. These days, with books and TV, you can have one-sided parasocial relationships. The solitary life is less risky. Huh. I mean, yeah, that's a way to put it, too. Like, if you are afraid of connection, either for the fact that you could lose it or it could cost you, like, literally fiscally or mentally or physically, really, or any sort of, like, cost that could come from an external relationship, I can definitely see why one would want to live a solitary life. Because just see, it is legitimately easier. You have less mental, physical, fiscal, financial, any of that stress, as long as you just take care of yourself. So maybe, I mean, I don't think so. Just because, like, human biology, I don't think we're built for that. I think we can manage it for a time. There are definitely times in my life where I was just like, and like I just flatlined as a human being, was just trying to just getting stuff done to get stuff done. But even then, that was for no more than like a week at a time, because I had a whole bunch of work I needed to do or something like that. I've never, like, for extended periods of time, gone and just flatlined, disappeared from people entirely. Because one, it's not impossible with how many people there are on the planet. What, 7 billion? And two, it just isn't healthy. Let's see. Yeah, he's affirming my values. He does like me. Oh my god. Oh, youth. I remember the days. I remember, those days were so much fun. Were they? Yeah, they were fun. In retrospect, they were fun. In the moment, like, I think back to a lot of things, I always, like, equate this to track practice. In the moment of track practice, running 300s, never fun. Never fun. Especially when you were being timed. You had to run a sub 45, 300, 5 times in a row if you were lucky. And that's with only 3 groups, so you really had, what, about 2 minutes of rest? Because you had to walk back over and be on the line by the time the final group was ready, so you could run it again. Not fun. But thinking about the bonding, the interactions that you get from that, in retrospect, it's nice. So I can think back on that time period fondly. And the same thing, something like this. I'm glad we're on the same page. There's something I've been wanting to tell you for a while now. Okay, and once again, the shift, I mean, maybe this is just her exposing herself, or, like, feeling more comfortable. But the thing is, she feels more comfortable here. Like, she literally has he does like me, oh my gosh. But she then still has the dark eyes. But now we're switching back to these eyes. Is this supposed to be like maybe it's supposed to, like, signify Yoru slightly, like, put her foot in the door of maybe taking over the body and, like, instantly trying to weapon him? Like, maybe that's it. Like, she's flickering on and on, like, like that. Maybe that's why the eyes are shifting, or maybe it's just like a draw distance thing. Like, it's such a weird way to say it, but you know how in video games, like, some textures and stuff won't load in until you get, like, really close, or not really close. In modern gen hardware, you don't have to get really close, but things further in the distance are rendered at lower frames and polygons than things that are closer to you, because you focus on the things closer to you more. So maybe it's just a thing. Like, typically when I draw really, really small, like this panel is taking up, like, look at her eye. It is smaller than my cursor. So hypothetically, going out of your way to do the dot and then the light scaler would probably be too much effort for such a small panel. Meanwhile, every single time she does have the more detailed, her eyes are, at least, then again, these eyes are of comparable size too. There's no reason for them to not be dark, or no, to not have the light iris, dark dot. If someone knows this, if I'm just being stupid and I've missed this and there was an explanation for it or something, or there's just an explanation implied by the fandom that I've just missed, please let me know. Because this will probably bother me for long after I'm done recording. Let's see. The thing is, she's getting her hopes up. Is she gonna... I swear, if I turn this page and get jump scared, dog, because luckily enough, I only saw one panel from this chapter. I saw one panel, realized the chapter dropped today, and instantly snapped my neck to go react to it. So, please, I'm worried. Because Yoshi doesn't seem like the kind of guy who would confess love. Okay. I'm gonna I know this is dumb. I'm gonna cover my eyes. Oh. That's light. What? Ah, okay. No jump scare. No jump scare. That's alright. Alright, okay, whatever. We good. I know I probably should have given you all a genuine jump scare experience, but I don't know. I'm sick and tired of getting jump scared by Chainsaw Man. Like, I understand some of y'all. When I go into a chapter fully blind and I get jump scared, that, whew, gets my heart rate up. Let's see. I want you to stay away from Denji. GG's. Huh? Why? I'd rather not say. You can interpret it however you like. I'm glad we had this chat. Have a good one. Sigma Yoshida. Chad Yoshida. Yoshi Goshida. That's my boy. Being alpha. Being Asa's a horrible life. Like, the thing is, now her life is pretty, it's not as bad as Denji's. Like, don't get me wrong, Denji literally lived in absolute agony for a majority of his life, and now he is currently a struggling single father. I say Asa in the long run has had a better life. But even still, like, that's gotta be sad. Imagine believing someone likes you, and then they just proceed to tell you to stay away from that other person who you also thought liked you, who just happened to stand you up that same day, according to your memories. It's gotta be awful. Like, I can't imagine feeling, that's such a specific situation, mind you. Luckily enough, that has not happened to me yet. Don't you go out of your way to somehow organize that happening to me. But still, that's a little bit buku bonkers right there. Like, that's actually a little bit nutty. The fact that that is what happens, absolutely crushing her dream. Like, look at that. Even her blush immediately disappears after she realizes what it means. And he just dips. He says, here, have coffee. All right, stay away from Denji. Deuces. Asa's got it rough. I cannot imagine. The thing is, I clown on Asa a lot, but I can't blame her. I'd be going through it too. It'd really be like that. Wouldn't it be like that? Especially when it be like that. Let's see. Oh, we don't even get a reaction to that. We just get this. Wow. I didn't think we were going to get Nayuta and Denji for a while, but looks like we are. And that's crazy. We don't even get to see a reaction to being crushed like that. Or no, her like in-depth reaction. At least we immediately cut away. Maybe we'll get it at the back end of the chapter. This is the panel I saw, by the way. I don't know. I didn't read it because I just saw it. I was like, that's a panel my brain did not immediately like fact check. My brain that was like a new panel. I like to imagine, right? I'm not sure exactly how my brain functions or how memory functions. Not a biologist. Biologist scares me. Or no, biology scares me. But I like to imagine that with certain images, especially things like manga, they're literally formatted in image format. Like the brain, when it stores it, will put it in a place and then it'll recall it if it sees something familiar. So like, when I saw the spoilers for Chainsaw Man, well, it wasn't spoilers, the chapter was out. I was just scrolling and not knowing that the chapter was out. I need to start setting like alarms for these things. But with that being the case, I remember seeing it and then my brain will automatically be like, oh, we're downloading this now. You will not forget it, at least for a while. And then when I saw it in the chapter, I was like, okay. We're calling it back now. This is the exact same image. So I like to imagine the brain will just like stack images at like, it's like timestamps. So the brain will put down an image at this point in time for later use. And then if that image ever pops up again, it'll reference back to that previous point and kind of overlap them, giving you a clearer mental image. Which is why if you don't see something for a long time, your memory will just start degrading. And that's why you can't remember stuff from like 20 years ago. Like I can't remember what I did 20 years ago. I just can't. Legitimately, I don't know. No idea. Because it was 20 years ago. It's kind of like the you don't use it, if you don't use it, you lose it principle. Where if you're not constantly refreshing your brain on something that it has information on, it'll just stop using it. Your body will fall out of whack. Interesting. Sorry, I went on a whole biology tangent over one panel. Let's see. I smell something nasty. It's the nastiest scent I've ever smelled. Go, Chainsaw Man, go. It's DHT time. She smack his... Wow. You don't abuse Denji like that. That's interesting. I know, but the thing is, this does make sense. Makima, too, recognize people by smell. It's very weird. I mean, it's not necessarily too weird, but it's strange enough. I don't know why that seems so odd to me. Like, when I think of control, I don't necessarily think of smell. I mean, you can manipulate people with smell. You can manipulate people through their nostrils. Like, you can knock them out if they breathe in certain chemicals or stuff like that. But for the controls, one of the controls' most notable abilities, I'd say, not the most notable, obviously the chains, but one of the controls' most notable abilities to be able to differentiate by sense. Intriguing. I wonder if there's any like deep tie to that, or it's just that, oh, it's not sight, it's not hearing. Smell's kind of unique. Let's use smell for this power. I don't know. And it's interesting how she sort of wants to engage him, but oh, he's so sad. Now you got rid of your hypothetical mom. You know how sad that makes your single father. Let's see, man, I don't feel like being Chainsaw Man anymore. What? No way. Why not? If everyone finds out I'm him, well, I know the ladies want me. You're gonna block me anyway. It's true. It's true. I mean, because notably, we don't know Nayuta's thought process on specifically Yoru. She just says she smells dangerous, or this woman has danger behind her. I don't know. She doesn't specifically seem to clarify that, hey, this is one of the four horsemen. You stay away from her, because remember what happened the last time you encountered a four horseman, buddy, pal, amigo. So I could see that. But I really wonder what her perspective is, especially considering her thought process seems to be a lot less megalomaniacal. Like, it still has some megalomaniacalness, like manipulating someone's memories and then sending them off, or simply turning them into a dog. It's kind of overlordish, but not to the same level as Makima. Makima was a beast, a monster. So Nayuta having this lesser level of it with a more power-esque personality, very interesting. I wonder what her general thought process is like, because it's very hard to discern. Once again, this is third chapter of seeing her. Fourth, technically, if you include chapter 90-something of Chainsaw Man, 97, I do believe. Let's see. No way, I want to watch you fight. I want to watch. Stop smacking him. Then again, I doubt it hurts too much. Then again, she does have super strength. Like, I mean, I doubt she's using it on him, but I still say, holding back 12 huskies. I couldn't do that. 12 huskies? Those things might as well just be, they're the wolves at home, and they were charging. And she was just, no T-pose or anything, just posted up, and they were not able to remove her. That is impressive. Let's see. So she's a Chainsaw Man fan, too. That's nice. That's funny. I like that. I'm gonna be single for life. That's gotta be a concern that crosses his mind after his legitimate horrible luck with women. There's gotta be a question that crosses his mind. Like, a lot of people joke that Denji may just like change teams, if you will, if you know what I'm saying. Just because he's had such horrible luck with women, he may just be like, you know what, forget it, men, and just switch to that. But I really wonder if Nayuta would even like that, because she seems very possessive of Denji, and I get it. She's what? 13? I still don't get how she incarnated so old, though. Like, it doesn't seem like that much time passed between the fall of Makima and the incarnation of Nayuta. So I wonder if Control incarnated through an already existing body, or if she just grows faster. I don't know. It's a very interesting situation with Nayuta, because reasonably, if she was born Control, like legitimately popped out her mama as Control, then she should be way younger. But it could be the same case with Asa, where she kind of just incarnated into a poor child. Like, you never think about that, but she may have just incarnated into a kid. The original kid, the original Nayuta, whose name may not even be Nayuta, Yoru does not call herself Asa. She calls herself Yoru. So Nayuta may have just overridden like a kid's body, and then bada bing, bada boom, they were now Nayuta permanently. Which is sad to think about, but hey, we got Nayuta out of it. Sacrifice is supposed to be made. But let's see. You return to Chainsaw Man, lots of people like you. You get way more love than that from a girlfriend. Doesn't that sound super awesome? Yeah, so she does technically want to isolate him just to her. I wonder what other connections she has, though. She obviously has the dogs. She has Denji. But I wonder, like, at school, what is she like? Is she also just as controlling? Does she have a friend group? Because I can't imagine, once again, going back to the scorpion and frog analogy, or the scorpion and frog story from last video, where it's in a scorpion's nature to sting. I think it's in her nature to control. So I wonder what she's like at school. I highly doubt she goes around pointing at people and just starts chaining them. But still, I wonder if she wants to be like the quote-unquote leader of her friend group and stuff like that, doing all those stuff. I don't know. I'm intrigued. I wonder if she follows him or just watches him on the news whenever he goes chainsaw. Because notably, he falls for it. He gets manipulated. So he's going to do it. He's going to say the CM word, the chainsaw man. I don't know. Let's see. Oh. Also all sad, because she believed. She believed in what could not be reality, for reality is oh so cruel. But let's see. I'm going to convince myself someone likes me. Then, when I'm wrong, my feelings get hurt. A life of solitude would be better than feeling like this. Yeah, that's gotta be awkward. That's gotta suck. It's interesting how Yoru has her hair down. You may be right. There's nothing even good about me. Who am I even living for? I only care about myself, yet whenever I get lonely, I crave companionship. How arrogant is that? I know you're arrogant, Asa, but methinks... Methinks? When was the last time I heard someone when have I ever read or heard someone use methinks? Is that an actual word? Hold on, where's my Googler isn't near me either. I'm gonna have to look that up. Methinks. Is methinks an actual... I've heard it before, so I know it's a used thing. But methinks. But methinks... Like, she's too... Yoru flips on the dime too much. Sometimes she's a crazy 4D chess playing level manipulator, and at the other times, she says methinks. Gotta love it. Let's see. Methinks you're being a little too down on yourself. Look at Yoru. The war being Asa's emotional support other half. We love that. We love that. I'm just tired. Tired of my inability to maintain a lasting relationship with another human being. Oh, she actually seems shocked. I like that. Maybe I'd be better off. I was joking when I made that poll. Let's see. Oh! Let the bodies hit the floor. 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 I'm sorry. I remember back in the day when AMVs were popping out left and right like crazy. I think it's still up. There's this one edit of Fusion Reborn to that song, and I love that AMV. I may go watch that after this because I just thought about it, but look it up. It should still be out there on YouTube. Great. But then again, maybe I haven't seen it in a while, so maybe my judgment is foggy, but it still was really, really cool. Let's see. Yep, but a body did indeed hit the floor. Something's wrong. Asa, stay back. Once again, it's very interesting. She always has to before snapping awake. I guess because the body literally goes under like transmogrifications. Like you can notice that she's not the same physically when Yoru is control of the body as when Asa's control of the body. Like her body literally gets buffer. Like she gets literal physical buffs whenever Asa takes it, or whenever Asa loses control and Yoru takes over, which is very interesting. Let's see. Ooh, she about to get jumped. Hey, she about to get jumped. She about to get jumped right now. She about to get jumped. Hey. Interesting though. That actually kind of looks like Snake from part 1. I don't recognize any of the other designs. So overall, I am one. I am thou, and thou art I. I make this covenant with it. No, I'm kidding. I've been watching a whole bunch of Persona videos. I don't know why. Fun fact, I don't think I have Royal. I've never actually played a single Persona game. I've watched full Let's Plays of it, and I've watched hours upon hours of reviews of it, but I've never actually played a Persona game. So why I made a Persona reference? Because I've been watching a whole ton of it recently. But still, overall, very, very worthy chapter. I like it a lot. I think the major parts of the chapter I like is, 1, obviously, more mystery is always appreciated. Like the mystery around Yoshida and his real intentions and stuff like that. why he wants Asa to stay away from Denji. Maybe he can tell. Once again, I mentioned how Yoshida is a pretty observant person. Now, he could probably pick up on things that other people wouldn't, like Asa's shifts in personality, like her shifts in power, like how she's a hypothetically dangerous individual to someone like Denji. We know Yoshida has, for probably just general reasons, but even hypothetically deeper personal reasons, does not want Denji to put himself in too much danger. Remember, Yoshida is the one who introduced Asa and Denji. And then now he's telling her to stay away from him. So you can definitely tell he may have noticed or picked up things about Asa that he did not notice before. And now he's sort of digging, like drawing a line between the two. We get more and more of Asa's like personal sadness here. Like her desire to be loved, her desire to be wanted by anyone other than like the person literally possessing her body, and wanting more human connection, wanting to feel like someone important, wanting to feel human. And I understand that. It's a very sad story, and I understand that. Well, I don't understand. I don't personally emphasize. Luckily enough, I was lucky enough to always have some sort of connection to some people. I was never purely isolated and alone like Asa is. So I've lived a much better life than Asa, but I can definitely understand why she feels that way. I like the characterization of Yoru in this chapter, even though I could definitely just write it off as she does not want her current vessel to unvessel herself, essentially. That's what Asa's implying here with this final statement on this panel. But hypothetically, worst comes to worst, it could be you're legitimately developing care for Asa, and they do share the same brain. So it's possible that Yoru is feeling all the pain that Asa is feeling and wants Asa to stop feeling that pain, because she doesn't like it either. She doesn't like feeling like that. And while she definitely has a much haughtier and higher view of herself as an individual, she knows that Asa doesn't and is trying to help her through that. And I think that's nice. Once again, more indirect hypothetical development for war, and I like that. And obviously, seeing the manipulative Nayuta be Nayuta manipulating Denji. It is a little bit rough. I don't like how Denji's sort of, being puppeteered around. Happens to the best of us, though. I understand, especially for your daughter. Anything for Nayuta, as he said last chapter. So, yeah. Interesting how he's going to sort of, at least he's implying for at least right now, he's going to sort of give up on looking for a single mother to help him single father so they can co-parent Nayuta. He seems to be giving up on that for the sake of the public's love, which is very interesting. Another Persona-esque theme, or at least Persona 5 specifically. Persona 3 and Persona 4, actually Persona 4 is actually kind of about the whole public's opinion and stuff like that. In fact, that's the whole reason Amno Sagiri, and that's big spoilers. I'm sorry if I just spoiled Persona 4, but like there's society themes in that one too, and there's even society themes about number 3, but specifically the love of society and the attention, I say, is a very much Persona 5 kind of thing. So I need to play Persona. I'm probably gonna, if I can find time to live stream, I live stream my first playthrough of Persona, because I need to. I need to do some live stream or something like that. However, overall, very, very good chapter. I think it's a solid 10. Once again, I have no issues with the chapter. It has a whole ton of things I like about it, from character interactions, the plot development, stuff like that. And obviously, we have the fact that Asa/Yoru is about to get jumped. And as a fan of Jujutsu Kaisen, I always appreciate a good jumping. So I'm excited. However, that's what I think. Please, what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notification bell so you miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also I do a page down below. Use code RIZZLE as $1 $1 plan exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as little as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing it off.